Hello, everyone. This is Pedro Bias. I'm Go for Glory Stable. I'm the founder and managing partner of the group, here along with Charlie Longo, our general manager. And today is September 28th, 2025. This is the Racehorse video update for the past week. As usual, please like or subscribe these videos on YouTube as it helps the channel to grow. So, with that being said, we're gonna jump right into it with the racehorses. So first on the list is Artist Best. He raced this week, came in second place, and we'll show you a replay. And Charlie, you can handle that one if you want. You've driven
Sure.
this horse, so you know him firsthand.
Yep.
All right, let's start Artist Best.
Okay. So Artis is leaving from the 7 hole. Chris Long is actually the leading driver at the track right now. So he gets away kind of like in mid pack. I think he settles in fifth, which is nice. Um, you know, if he doesn't leave a little bit off the gate, then we're getting away like seventh, and then it's going to be a tough trip, obviously. So I was very pleased to see him get a hole very quickly. He had plenty of room, and he settles in fifth nicely. So right then and there, I'm figuring, we should be in a good spot, and we'll definitely be poised to hit the board, if not win. Um, so right now we got a 27-4 first quarter, and he's just sort of just hanging there, just waiting for the right moment to make his move. And as many of you know by following this horse, he typically kicks it into gear in the last quarter. No need to make an early move. Um, Him being on the lead is not his strong suit. He's not a horse that likes to take a lot of air early in the mile. Ideally, the best two scenarios for this horse are sitting in and looking for a hole down the lane in a long stretch or second over trip. So here he's following the three. The three's first up, and the three was really strong in this race. And he gapped cover slightly here, but now he's making up a lot of ground. And we lost this race right here because the three was able to clear to that lead very easily. If the eight could have kept him out a little bit longer, and we could have just drafted behind, the eventual winner, then there's no doubt we win the race. But the three got clear, and um, you know, Chris is coming hard with Artist Best here, but we simply just ran out of racetrack here. We lost by a few inches. Another 3 feet, and we win. But he was great. Um, no problems with it. You want him to win at Vernon Downs. It's one of the easier tracks to win at. But to me, this race was like a win. Another 3 feet were the winner, and it's a feel good story. But no shame in finishing second. He raced good. A track that he hasn't raced at in, I don't know if he's ever raced at Vernon Downs, quite honestly. But it's nice when one of our horses can go to a different track and come up with a big effort. And he off what I guess a week or two layoff. It's been a couple of weeks, I think, since he last raced. So yeah, I was happy to see him. He was sharp, and you know, not sure where he's going next, but wherever he goes, he'll be ready.
Yeah, he had a 56 and 2 back half, which was actually the fastest mile of that whole day on Friday at Vernon Downs. And Vernon, as you saw in this race, even just looking right here, I don't know if you can see with the fractions, 57 and one first half. That's like what you see at Yonkers,
Yeah,
57 and one first half. So that's uh it's not usual for a big track like a mile track to see such a slow first half. Um, but they do it here all the time. So like almost every race you'll see a very slow first half, 57, 58 sometimes, 59 sometimes, and then they just sprint home in the last half. Um, uh, so it's kind of an interesting way that Vernon Downs Colony races up there in these overnights. But that's how it is, and Artist Best he shows up every single time. Fun horse. We're keeping him around for the winter meet for Meadowlands. They start on October 19th, I want to say. Um, and he'll be racing in the overnights, regular overnight races, Trackmaster 71s, Trackmaster 68s, and with Charlie, with the Meadowlands amateur driver, what's the C for? Club? Driver Club, MADC.
MADC.
Yep. So he's we're looking forward to him. Nice horse. All right. So let's move on to the next horse, which is Charming Princess. So with her, I'll take that one, Charlie. She's just eating grass right now. That's all she's doing. She's eating grass. She's in Ohio, um, eating grass. She's turned out. So the bills should be significantly less for the month of September and September and October. And then she's just gonna. We're waiting for the. She's been already been entered into the Harrisburg sale, um, which I'm not sure if they have the. I gotta check maybe for next week's video if they have the listing out of the mix sale already. She'll be in the mix sale, which is in the like one of the final days or the last day, I think. Last second to last or the last day of Harrisburg, they have a mix sale where they sell a bunch of racehorses and brood mares, and um, she'll be in the brood mare part of the sale. And we think we can probably get around somewhere between 30 to 50,000 or more for her. And remember, we only paid 30,000. That's the beauty of the trotting fillies. It's a very strong market, and she has a good family. And she didn't work out, but they all won't work out. But that's why it's nice when you have these fillies, and especially trotting fillies, you have that insurance kind of built in there, um, uh, versus like a gelding. So anyway, let's move on to the next horse. So she's fine. She's just that's her story. Drill. Um, Charlie, you want to? Well, Drill's actually he was sold on Tuesday on Monday.
Yeah, yeah, not much to say at this point. I thought we had a decent run with Drill. A lot of second hit the board a whole bunch of times. There was just one of those things. There was always one horse better than him, and he provided, a lot of excitement and fun. And, to me, the only disappointing thing was, we weren't able to recoup what we paid for him. You just never know sometimes when you enter a horse in an auction. I didn't think we would get exactly what we paid for him, but I was hoping to at least get close to five figures, and that didn't happen. But it is what it is. That's what the buyers were willing to spend this time around, and it's all about timing sometimes. And it just didn't happen. But we didn't take a too big of a hit on the sale, and we'll just move on and take the proceeds and look for something better.
Yeah, exactly. You can't keep them forever, and the overnight horses we it's different than the babies. Babies, the yearlings, they got so much upside. So you're paying bills for probably 7 8 months until you even see what you got with them. Overnight horse, they gotta at least cover their kind of get close to covering their bills, or at least make a dent every month, or at least have a real good excuse why not. And we just weren't able to kind of get him rolling. But that's how it is
Yeah.
in this game, and you just got to we'll keep bringing in horses, we'll keep bringing moving out horses, and uh, uh, we wish Drill all the best.
Yeah.
So
And just one other thing on drill, which I'm not sure if I had mentioned prior in the past, to a bunch of people, but both Mike Merton and myself had driven the horse, and we both came to the same conclusion. He's a strange horse to drive. He's what you call like a snaky horse. You don't know if he wants to run in or if he wants to run out, and he wasn't the easiest horse to drive. So you never really know until you actually get the horse and you get behind him in a race situation and get a feel for what he's like. And I didn't particularly love driving him, and Mike pretty much said the same thing. So time to part ways, and we wish him luck.
yeah, he was an interesting horse. You kind of have to get him. Yeah, it's you know they all won't work out. But the key is you got to move on. Before stop the bleeding as soon as you can, and then move forward. And our money is better off investing on some better high quality horses, and he'll be fine. Drill, I think he went to like Buffalo or something like that, and he's with a trainer owner, so that's a good spot for him. So anyway, we'll move on to the next horse with Enola. and she is also similar to Charming Princess, just eating grass right now, hanging out outside, getting a breather, and she's healthy, she's sound, she's fine. She's just getting a well-deserved break until we bring her back for winter racing, which will probably be like Saratoga, um, Plain Ridge if it's still open, Yonkers, Poconos. So that's what she will be doing, and hopefully, racing well the whole winter. Very nice trotting mare.
Nice try to have in the barn. Yeah, we're glad we have her for sure.
Um, Aaron, Aaron raced on Monday, and she she flipped her pallet. Um, so I don't know, Charlie, if you want to explain or what that's all about, but it's first time it's happened with her, or basically it happens sometimes with horses where they have a different the way their airway is obviously is different than a human, and sometimes there's something called flipping a pallet where it actually when they're racing hard it can actually block off their airway or you know, not maybe entirely, but maybe like partially, like 50%, 25%. And then they can't get in all that air that they need.
Right.
And so it seems like that's what happened. At least that's what the vet told Rob happened on
Hmm.
Monday. Um, and so she got some work done also anyway on her knees and her hocks. So she's in to go on Monday. And I'm just hoping for a check here. She's a six post. Just hoping for a check so she can end September good.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, she could come back and be really strong. It was very obvious that something was amiss, last race, and we knew it was something physical. It's just a matter of what it was. And yeah, I mean, she'll be a lot better this week, and we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, she's a war horse, and she actually had a pretty good September so far. That's why it'd be nice if we can get another check just to close out the month. She actually had a pretty decent month. Um, um, so that's Aaron. Let's move on to the next horse, Just Rose's Luck. Let's pull up the entry list here. Yeah, we have four horses on Monday, three horses on Tuesday, so it's jam packed. Just Rose's Luck. She's on Tuesday with the two hole at Yonkers with Tyler Buter, and I think she's 6-1 morning line, and she's in a good spot. So we did all we can. So up to the horse. I don't know, Charlie, if you have anything to add or Andros
I, you
Rose.
know, I'm pleased to see, we got Tyler Buter back. Tyler is pretty much a regular driver for Rob, along with Jimmy Marone, uh, whether it be at Yonkers or Pocono, and we've had a lot of success with Tyler over the years. Hasn't driven too much for us this year for whatever reason, just the way things are working out. But Tyler always does a great job. I think he's leading the driver's standings actually at Pocono this year, and he's really come a long way. He's definitely, in my opinion, probably a top 20 driver in the nation at this point. He's a solid driver, and Tyler also used to train. Him and his wife Amber had their own barn until I think about maybe 3 years ago, Tyler decided to focus exclusively on catch driving, and he's really upped his game. When they put aside the training duties, it's a bit much, you know. When husband and wife are have a decent sized barn, and he's taking care of his horses in the morning, and then he's got to drive to the track and race, and it's a killer schedule. And now that he's a little bit more rested and focused on driving, you're seeing the results now. And like Pedro said, two hole Yonkers, I like that spot. And I'm expecting a big effort from Just Rose's luck with Tyler and the bike.
Yeah, and she's yeah, we mentioned it after that when she came back and she really raced. She's really been racing sharp ever since she came back from
Hmm.
that little layoff when she cut her knee or the inside of her knee, whatever it was, or I don't even know if it was like her shin area. I can't recall, but uh, a lot of these horses now they, especially in these 20 claimers, 25 claimers, they have had no rest. They've been racing
Mhm.
all last winter, all spring, all summer, and now is the time where a lot of those horses are kind of like, wow, they're racing every week, and just Rose's luck. She had like 2 months off, pretty much, right in the middle of spring. So she's coming in here fresh. Um, she has really good gate speed. She really flies off that gate, and she'll fight till the end. She gets around the half nicely. So we'll see how that goes. I'm really really excited for her. I'm looking forward to that race.
Mhm.
Um, let's move on to going to Vegas. I'll just take this one, Charlie. She nothing really to note going to Vegas. She's similar. She's actually the same story as Charming Princess, except she's with she's with Paul in Saratoga in the paddock over there. She's just eating grass and getting ready to get sold. With her, keep an eye on Lexington sales. She actually has a tactical landing sister selling. So that'll give us an idea. She actually looks like a beautiful horse too. So that'll give us an idea somewhat of her broodmare value. Like if that horse goes for 6 figures, then you can kind of be like, all right, if that horse goes for 6 figures and we got going to Vegas, we might get a pretty penny for her. Pretty penny meaning hopefully somewhere between 75 to 100,000 plus, purely selling her as a broodmare. She comes from the same family as Back of the Neck, Sig Sauer, a bunch of other killers, and uh, this is once again why trotting fillies don't don't get hung up on trotting fillies. That there's not a lot of overnight trotting filly races and things like that in this area. Just keep in mind if you got a good one, and especially if they have a good family and everything, that's like you can make a lot of money in the back end, or at least help
Mhm.
get some of your money back. So going to Vegas, $37,000 yearling at Goshen a few years ago, and we might sell her for 100,000 plus as a broodmare. That just tells you how it's, it's like that secondary play of the game to keep in mind. Not saying we will sell it for 100 grand, but keeping my fingers crossed. You never know. Uh, Mine Hunter. Um, I don't know, Charlie. You want to do Mine Hunter, or he's just we're just waiting to qualify with him, pretty much. Um,
Yeah, it's kind of an unfortunate situation. As far as the driver scratch, kind of happens. The driver wasn't too familiar with, the horse warming up and, decided to pull him off the track. And it was just an unfortunate occurrence, which results in him having to qualify. But, he's fine. He's going to come back strong and he's going to, you know, race back to previous levels and be a force. He's a good one.
yeah, we'll probably look into. I wasn't sure when Rob was going to qualify him. It's looking more likely that's probably going to be like Wednesday at Monticello or Poconos, whichever
Mm.
Rob decides. That doesn't mean he has to race there next time out. Those tracks he can just qualify and then race somewhere else. After that, I would imagine he'll probably race. Want to get him away from Yonkers for a little bit, just to he's got the kind of like microscope on him now because George did that scratch,
Hmm.
the lame scratch. So um, I'm guessing it'll be Saratoga, Plain Ridge, Poconos.
And,
Um,
sometimes these things are a blessing in disguise, just like with just Rose's luck with the injury. So now he gets a short little break, and let's face it, he'd been racing hard, and a lot of these claimers at Yonkers that have been getting taken week after week are getting pushed to the limit. It happens because the trainers put him in knowing we're going to lose this horse this race, and let's get whatever we can, even if he's got the 6, 7, or the 8 hole. And yeah, it's a lot of stress on a horse, and they're racing real hard, and you know, sometimes they need 2 or 3 weeks, a little bit of a break, just to freshen them up a little bit, and then they come back, real strong. But yeah, you certainly don't want to give them an extended break when they're going that well either. You want to keep going with them. But this was kind of a forced mini break, and the expectations are he'll come back strong, and yeah, get him away from Yonkers a little bit, maybe a little change of scenery. Let him do some damage at those tracks, and then we'll bring him back eventually for sure. Hopefully sooner rather than later.
yeah. So that's my hunter. He's doing fine. He's doing well. He's getting a lot of swimming, and uh, he's loving life in Big Z. Um, and we'll get him going soon. Nice horse, very nice horse.
Let me tell you too, and I've warmed him up, a couple of times, and he's a beast. He's a strong horse. Wow, he's a specimen, and yeah, look forward to seeing him, back at Yonkers one day.
So move on to the we'll move on to the next horse, Money Man, and he is racing on Tuesday at Plain Ridge, and he is in the sixth race on Tuesday. We do have Brett Beckwith on him. He's 3-1 morning line, third favorite, it looks like. And I I'll start this off, Charlie, just because I kind of there's a few things I want to point out. It's interesting because a couple things. So the first thing is my degenerate who won the Massachusetts final last year, or did he win? No, he came in second or third. Came second, I want to say. He he's really been racing out of his eyeballs off in Kentucky this year. Made 122 grand, 51 and one mark. Granted, it's Lexington, a little questionable because those sometimes a little too fast down there. But it makes you wonder like his timer's off. But he's still a nice horse, really nice horse. And he's done fast miles at Philly too. So he's to me he's the one to beat. Our father Lindy, I'm not concerned. DV's Lad, not concerned. They just racing for pieces. Same thing with Halifax. Takedo Lindy. So just so you all know, he's a newcomer this year. That's why I said with second chapter when we're talking about the yearlings in the baby video, don't get hung up if a horse doesn't race at two. Takedo Lindy didn't race at two. I don't believe so, unless I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure he didn't race at two. And you know what? Let's just check while we're let me fact check myself while we're talking. Let's see, I've looked him up before. Did he race at two? He qualified in November. No, he tried to qualify and he never even got qualified. So he never even really raced that two. He tried to qualify, didn't even never even was able to get qualified. He was braking and or just he was braking all the time or super slow. He made 140,000 this year, without earning a penny as a 2-year old, and he is the older brother, the full older brother of Adios Marlindi. So that just goes to show you. Remember what we talked about? We're going to Vegas about how, her family blossomed after we got her. Adios, my Lindy. Now, all of a sudden, she got a brother who made 140,000 and he's still going. So I'm not. Let's not root for Takedo Lindy. We want to make money with Money Man. But if we do get beat, let's hope we get beat by Takedo Lindy because if he gets beat, he's going to help the value of Adios Marlindi. If he, so we got to deal with him. We'll see how good he is here. I think Money Man can still get a piece here. Castell Lindy was one of the top dogs last year, and he's outside with the 7 posts, and he looks like he's just been okay this year. He kind of came back to earth. So we'll see kind of how he is. And Belmundo was the star of the show last year. He swept the whole thing, every single leg he won, and he came. I think he got injured or something because he missed like almost the whole year this year, and he just really has not looked good. So I think we're okay. We should be in the mix here. Hopefully, get second or third. I don't know, Charlie. You wanna add anything? Your side?
Yeah, I agree with you here. I'm thinking we're racing for second and third here. The five's been, pretty awesome this year. Both horses from the Miller, actually, there's three horses from the Miller barn, but two that we have to be concerned about. Takiera Lindy's, though. Um, Pretty heavy workload this year, 22 starts, a lot more than most of these horses in the field. So yeah, he's the one to beat. Tyler Miller has really upped his game as a driver, over the last year. Been doing very well. He's come a long way. I think he finished in the top three at Tioga Downs. So him and his dad will they'll be tough to beat. They could come 1-2 in this race, but we'll see how the race develops. And we're not in a bad spot from the 2 hole with 3-1. Could we win? Yeah, I mean anything's possible. But yeah, if we could hit the board, that'll be great. Going for 75,000.
Yep. So, and you see here, $75,000 purse was one division for one division for the 3-year-old colt trotters, and that's once again the beauty of uh, Massachusetts. Now, when I say beauty, these horses aren't cheap. My degenerate was like 250,000. You know, some of these horses were pretty expensive. So, Julie Miller, they've been her and Andy Miller. They've been operating also at a high level in Massachusetts. It's a kind of a small field of who kind of plays at a high level. It's Julie Miller, Paul Kelly, Ducharme, Domenico Ciccieri. Did we miss somebody, Charlie? Uh, Somebody else I thought we missed. Toscano.
Toscano,
Toscano.
Toscano.
Yes, yeah. So really those five are like the major players here from the trotting side. From the Pacers, it's a little different. Ron Burke has some,
Mhm.
um, Travis Alexander, but we don't have too many Pacers right now. But yeah, this is it. It's begun on Tuesday. And I just want to point out, here's Corner Store where she's 6-5 favorite, second favorite with Brett Beckwith. Um, you see that? She is a full sister to Seven Seagrams
Mhm.
that we purchased at Goshen. And she already made, she's 77,000 in her life. Um, I actually think she's so sharp right now. I think she can beat this Our Lady W. I think Corner Store is really racing out of her mind right now. Paul has her laser sharp at the moment, razor sharp at the moment. And same thing like we just talked about before. Let's root on Corner Store. Everyone who has Seven Seagram, because the better Corner Store does, that's the more value she's going to raise for Seven Seagrams. Meaning, it might get to the point where even though we paid 17,000 for Seven Seagrams, if Corner Store keeps doing what she's doing, we might be able to sell Seven Seagrams for like 30 grand, 50 grand later on. I mean, I'm not saying it all depends on what kind of happens, but it's just something, another angle to always keep in your mind, especially when you're buying fillies. Uh, just keep that in mind. So that's Money Man. Anything else, Charlie, you want to add for him? Or
No.
all right, let's move on to we have Saddle Up. Saddle Up is um he is racing on Monday with Jordan Stratton from the 3 hole and the 40 claimers. And just pull up his program. What are you thinking, Charlie?
You know, off the claim. I mean, look, the horse has been racing hard. He's been lights out. Look at all those ones all across from gate to wire. I mean, very, very impressive. So the horse had been claimed how many times in a row was it?
It was a lot. Had to been like 8 times.
Yeah,
So,
it was a lot, and it figures, we finally get lucky on the claim, and we don't get in the box the following week. We didn't draw in, which was, it's kind of disappointing. But at the same time, you know what? I was okay with that. I figured, the horse has been racing hard every week. Could use a little breather. Let him get 2 weeks off. And at that point, they weren't writing a lot of 30s, I think. And then we made the decision, maybe we take a shot at the 40 level because it's going to be kind of a mixed bag between, some 30s and 40s. And it won't be a true 40. It won't be as difficult as we may anticipate. And plus, the horse has already shown he can win at the 40 levels. So I think it was kind of a no-brainer to take a shot and see how he performs. Fortunately, we got a good draw, and guess what? We're 7-2. I'm sorry, 5-2. So yeah,
morning line favorite.
yeah, morning line favorite. Yeah, I mean, we got George Brennan, the Minister of Speed on the rails. So, yeah, we got to get out there. We get ahead of him, and I think we'll be in a good spot. And we could certainly wire this field at that level. So, and racing for a higher purse, obviously, too, at the 40 level. So, I don't anticipate any claims on him this time around because to go from 30 to 40 is a big jump. I mean, yeah, it's always possible somebody might be willing to take a shot and, you know, put in another 10 grand to get him. But I think they're probably going to sit this one out. And, if they really want Saddle Up, they're probably going to hope for us that he doesn't, have a big race and then we drop him back down and then they'll snag him. So, but nonetheless, look at his lines. I mean, 2025, 25 starts, 14 wins, 5 seconds, almost 150,000 in earnings. That's just unbelievable. And that's following a 2024 campaign where he earned almost $100,000. So this horse is legit, 7 years old, nearly a $500,000 in earnings. And yeah, he's sharp as a tack right now. And yeah, I'll be there for that one for sure. And look for me in the winner's circle, smiling.
So that's that's the beauty of the claiming at Yonkers. It's a lot of money. What is he racing for 20,000? A lot of
20.
money. That all these horses are quality horses. I mean, they're winning in condition races. And then they go to the claimers when they made too much money. It's a great place to operate. We're going to keep trying to operate here and building our Yonkers operation. It takes time. You can't just go out of nowhere and just spend a fortune and buy a million horses. So it takes time to kind of get there. But we will. We're getting there, and the horses is doing well, making some money, and let's see how it goes on Monday. Um, so let's move on to Ship's Revenge. She is racing on Tuesday at Monticello, and she is the 9-5 favorite in the rail.
Yeah, kind of hate like hell to put her in. Um, at well, actually, yeah, it's a five claimer, but the allowance is 72.50, so not terrible. I like her a lot in this spot. Um, does somebody jump in and take her? I think a smart trainer, Monticello based, with that's a good spot for a Monticello trainer to just nab this horse. Um, Personally, I wouldn't mind if we don't lose her because I could see us doing some damage at this level. If we keep jamming her in there, putting her in at this same level. But obviously, if she runs, if she runs the way we expect her to run and wins, and nobody takes her, I think it's a foregone conclusion that she'll be gone, the next week if we keep her at that same level. But if that happens, so be it. Then we'll the proceeds will be pretty much what we had hoped to pick up from the auction, which obviously it didn't work out for us. So I think this was a smart move going to Monticello, and fortunately, she drew inside for a change. And as you guys know, who have been in on her, I mean, we just had a bad run of luck with her with the 6 and 7 holes, even I think in an 8 hole as well. It's at Saratoga, and if it wasn't for all those poor draws, I think we would have made a lot more money with her. We would have gotten some wins, and even if we had put her in the auction, she would have probably commanded what we had expected. So it was just kind of unfortunate. It just kind of bad luck with her, post position wise. But overall, I think she's a nice little horse.
Yeah, I think she'll do some damage here at this level. Um, this is you hear put the phrase like jamming him in. Oh, he's jamming him in. He's jamming him in. This is what that means. Is like we're dropping her down from an optional 10,000 claiming tag, which she was available for 14.5 at Saratoga, dropping her down to a $5,000 claiming tag which is 72.5 with allowance. So, we're just this is the epitome of jamming them in, where we're just like, you know what, we're gonna put her in the very aggressive claiming tag where we know she's gonna be one of the top horses in there, and then hopefully she can just kind of continuously keep being 1-2 every time out, um, and make some money. It's not huge purses. I mean, 41,000, 4,100, but that's why we're hoping she can kind of win a lot of these races in a row, maybe run off a couple of wins. And then we'll see what happens if someone takes her or not. So
Yeah.
this
And we
this
and we
time,
have Mike Merton driving her. Mike has not driven her in a race, but of course, Mike does work for Rob, so he knows the horse very well. He trains the horse, so it's just like he's driven the horse before. Let's put it that way. Only not in a pari-mutuel race to this point. So my Mike is one of the top pilots over at Monticello. We got the rail, so yeah, this is a great spot for her.
yeah. So good luck to everyone with Ship's Revenge, and we will. We actually lowered her price also on the website in case you want. Um, It's for this claim tag price in case you want to get in on the action. So it's really cheap. It's like 70. What I forgot what we have it at, like 72, $73 for a share. So so that's Ship's Revenge, and that's her story. And uh, what else? And I wish I could go there on on Tuesday. I can't, but I think some of you might go. So I think this we have a decent chance of getting the winner circle over there. Um, all right, next tour, Skybox. Charlie, I'll just take this one. So he has the 10-day protocol from after the race, even though he didn't like get scratched lame like my hunter did before the race. When he broke and didn't finish, they put him on the vet list as well, so 10-day vet list. So his race was on uh Thursday this past Thursday, the 25th. So the earliest he can qualify is probably October 5th, 6th, 7th or so. So that's kind of the next plan for him is to get qualified. And he got Paul went to town on him with the vet blocking his ankles and everything. I think I talked about this in the last video. So they think it's his they think it's his right hind ankle that's bothering him because when they blocked it, meaning you put like a little bit like a painkiller um in that ankle, when before they didn't do anything, he was kind of racing. He was kind of racing a little off. But then when they got to that right hind ankle and they put the painkiller in there, he was racing like normal. So the horses can't talk, so they can't tell exactly what's bothering them, but they feel like that's might be it. So he got an injection there, in his right hind ankle. We'll see if that does the trick. And then kind of go from there. So he got to get qualified. So that's his story. Paul said it's not really there's not a major there's no major issues with the horse. It's a weird thing. Like we're not dealing with major issues like broken coffin bones and seminoid bones and suspensories and bow tendons stuff like that. It just says it's just a lot of small stuff with him all year we've been dealing with. So that's the story with Skybox. Um, Last but not least, we got Soho Skyfall. And same thing with Enola. He's just getting a little break right now, and he'll be back, for the rest of Saratoga and kind of wherever else we're going to race him. And he's doing fine, healthy, sound, strong. One of our best pacers in the barn. Really pleasant surprise with him. He's only 5 years old, which in Australian time is actually probably not even really five yet. Charlie, now we're thinking about it because they're usually born in the later half of the year.
Right.
These Australian breds. Uh, so he might be an old 4-year-old in reality, or like a
Mhm.
young 5-year-old right now.
That's correct. Yeah.
Um, so
Yeah, the time off will do him some good, and yeah, I mean, he's racing hard. He's another uh, physical specimen. I mean, he's a beast, and time off will do him some good. He's going to come back real strong. I'm real excited about him. Yeah.
yep. So all right, everyone. That is the update. Yeah, double trouble this week with me and Charlie. Hope you enjoyed it. Um, Anything else, Charlie, you want to add, or?
Um, just a reminder, we got a lot of action early this week, and I hope to see some of you guys out at Yonkers or Monticello, and I will be available there the next two nights. For those that want to come into the paddock, let me know, and I'll get you on the pass list. And if you don't want to come in the paddock, I'll see you in the winner's circle for sure.
That sounds good. All right. Thank you, everyone. Have a good week.
Thank you.